Okay, we've been working on this little shorty Santa, actually a sitting Santa. We did a shorty Santa's usually pretty well the same, but they are not sitting. They had the feet at the bottom. So when you order a specific DVD, make sure, you know, when I do make these DVDs, make sure you give me a number to it to make sure it's the right one that you want. You know, I have so many different Santas that I do now, and there are little variations on things, you know, and hopefully they're the same kind of concept all the way through, but you know, just doing a few different things changes them, and that's what makes them fun to do, because you can do one sitting, you can do one standing, you can do one kneeling, you can just do the heads, you know, all different types and different ideas and choices you can make when you make a Santa. You can have them holding a gift, you can have them holding a wreath or a candy cane, you know, or nothing at all, like this here will be that way. Now, we're going to, of course, bring this in a little bit more. Alright, now we're going to scoop this out. Alright, we're going to start scooping underneath that tassel. Try to keep it there. That's the bottom part. Alright. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down and I'm going to chop this off right there at the corner. Alright. So I'm looking at it from the front here. I'm sorry, from the side, and I'm trying to get it round. Alright, round. So, you know, we kind of have this rounded here, but we're looking at it from the profile side. So we're going to just kind of get it the same shape going around. We're going to start digging this out a little bit. There we go. You just want to take your time with it, because you're actually going against the grain, and that makes it a little bit more, definitely makes it more difficult. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you about that. See how hard that is? This is a good time, even with the softest wood that you can get. Just give it a little squirt of that little bit of the alcohol and water. You want to be careful you don't do too much on the end side, on the end piece, simply because when you do that, it has a tendency of checking or cracking when it dries, because the end piece will soak it up much quicker than this portion that aren't the end piece. The end piece will soak up an awful lot. If you put it in water and watch it, you can see it seeping up through the Santa. And it's the same thing here. You don't want to saturate it to death on the ends, otherwise you might run into that problem. And you know, and if you do run into that problem, there are ways of fixing that. But you want to avoid that. You know, you don't want to do more work than you have to, especially when it comes to, you want to do the carving part, but you don't want to sit there and fix it, you know, for the most part. So I'm just going to keep digging this out a little bit, getting this nice and round, and undercut it a little bit so that thing's sticking out pretty nicely. And we're going to constantly, keep bringing this over like the wind's coming this way. So that's how that's going to look. We're going to really bring this over. It's going to look a little bit off, but you'll see why I'm doing that after I get that done here. Or you can just have it looking like it's coming off the side, that's fine. But, and this is where you start rounding it off and working on it. But when you think of the wind, you're thinking of it blowing, and so this side's going to be a little bit more chopped off because of that wind blowing that way. So alright, now you can see the difference in the heads. I really chopped the other one off pretty much. And if you want it that small, you can. You can just keep chopping all this off here, okay, and bringing this down, up and around, and making it a lot smaller, a lot thinner at the top. But I like them kind of with a larger head. Most caricatures are, you know, their heads are exaggerated. They're not really in sync with the body for actual size, and that's kind of the way. Now when I do the tassel later, when I put that fur on, I'm going to make it, hopefully make it look like the wind's blowing that way. So this will be a little bit of a challenge for me. It's something a little bit different. And that's when you carve for a while, you'll end up trying new things. You know, I did 3 different things with this thing, or attempted one way, and then it ended up being the gnome, and then I decided I didn't want that, and chopped it up really thin, and I had nothing to lose to experiment with it. So if you have a piece that doesn't work quite like you expect it to, don't fear that. Just go ahead and keep chopping away at it. It may turn into something you don't expect at all, and you know, you might be able to salvage it. Okay, so I'm going to try to have a little bit of a scoop there, like I normally do. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to start on the face a little bit. I think we chopped enough there off for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do the same thing we've done with everything else. We're going to put the eyebrow in first and the bridge of the nose. We're going to bring that down a little bit and make sure that's somewhat even. Well, that's not really even. Okay. Now this one doesn't have an eyebrow, but we're gonna give it a whirl. All right. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna bring this, put a stop cut in, come up from the bottom and from the top. We're gonna kind of just follow that all the way around. Just all right. We're going to do another stop cut. We're going to do this a couple of times. Remember, this is going to be the bridge of the nose and where the eyes are going to go in. So, there we go. Okay. Now, you know, we're going to make that a lot deeper, of course, but we're going to figure out where the nose is. So let's put the nose. I like them short and stubby, so we're going to make this nose kind of bigger, a little bit bigger. What I normally do here. Okay, I'll be right back, folks.